I want the sense that my president is on top of shit. You know what I'm saying? Spinning all them plates, boo.
He's a writer for New York Magazine and host of KCRW's Left, Right, and Center. Josh Barro, welcome.
Hey, John, how are you?
And back again, comedian, actress, writer, and co-host of Couple Therapies podcast, returning champion Naomi Ekperigin.
Always good to see your face and your COVID curls.
Now it's time for OK Stop. We are coming to you Thursday night after the Democratic convention. We just watched Joe Biden's speech. We're just going to show you some of the key moments.
We lead the world in confirmed cases. We lead the world in deaths. Our economy is in tatters, with Black, Latino, Asian American, Native American communities bearing the brunt of it. And after all this time, the president still does not have a plan.
Okay, stop. You know, one of the sort of striking realities of this convention, it really sort of, I don't know, something that was occurring to me again and again is we're making an obvious case. We're making a trivially obvious case. It is a sad, somebody pointed out today that Donald Trump's approval rating last year was about, the economy is growing, they're creating jobs, no one's ever heard of the pandemic. His approval rating is 41, 42%. We're here a year later. Society's been brought to its knees. Life has been upended, incredible horror and suffering, incredible pain. And he's still living at 41, 42%. And it is a stark part of our politics that we spend all this time trying to convey really simple, really trivial observations when there are so many Republicans themselves who would agree with us but can't because, well, it's just not good for business.
Well, and the remarkable thing to me is certain aspects of what he has done this year, his numbers are even worse than his overall approval numbers, but it doesn't seem to move his general job approval. People will say, oh, he's not handling the pandemic well, he's not handling race relations well. His approval numbers still, as you note, stay in the low 40s. Maybe Biden has gained a point or two in the horse race polls, but not a sea change. And so it is amazing to me how, like, for 3 years, not that much happened. I mean, obviously, there's always things happening, but it was, aside from the controversies the president himself caused, it was actually a fairly uneventful first 3 years of this presidency. And then we have gotten a deluge of news in this last year with really negative events happening that he's gravely mishandling. It is amazing to me how little that has actually affected his political fortunes. And again, I think that there's going to be this idea that Biden only won because of the pandemic, when in fact, because of those poll numbers that were so stable and not good all the way through, I think it's very likely that he would have won anyway, even if this stuff hadn't happened.
Look, I understand. I understand how hard it is to have any hope right now. On this summer night, let me take a moment to speak to those of you who have lost the most. I have some idea how it feels to lose someone you love.
Okay, stop. I cannot rewatch this part, okay? Because when Joe when he glistens, okay? When those eyes start glistening, I see that touch of pink. I just want to hold him close. I want to hold him close because I can feel it. I can feel what he's going through. He is connecting with us. He is saying, I am a man. He says, I'm a white man, but I hurt too. And that's something we needed to hear.
Okay. Well, we're going to have to, I can't edit the clip in real time, so we're just going to have to hear some more of it.
Okay.
I know that deep black hole that opens up in the middle of your chest and you feel like you're being sucked into it. I know how mean, cruel,
thank you,
and unfair life can be sometimes. But I've learned two things. First, your loved one may have left this earth, but they'll never leave your heart. They'll always be with you. You'll always hear them. And second, I found the best way through pain and loss and grief.
It's just, everyone says this, but it is such a remarkable contrast between the depth of empathy that you get from Joe Biden and what you get from the president.
Yes.
And it's weird because, like, that wouldn't be the top of my list of qualifications for somebody to be president. It's certainly a good personal quality, but I think in this moment, it really connects with people that, he's a human being with feelings. And people would like that right now as compared to this, in addition to all the substantive ways the president has mismanaged the country, just like him being such a dick about it the whole time. I think it's a refreshing contrast.
I think that's exactly right. It's like he's kind of talking to us again. To me, again, right, we don't have our audience. This is a brave new convention. And I think you cannot ever let people forget that. The way we're sitting here, you know, watching this at home by yourself, you ain't seen a person in 42 days. He is talking to everybody, regardless of whether they've experienced a loss or not. And I think just tapping into that, and it's true, like what Josh is saying, I think it's the compassion thing. You know, I'm not a whole, like, president you want to have a beer with. Like, honestly, I should never be able to have a beer with the president. I shouldn't understand what he's saying ever. Like, I don't get that part. But it is such a contrast to the last, 3 years of meanness that it was just very, that's part of what was surprisingly moving about it.
Yeah, I mean, I am not a fan of the kind of president as familial figure, president who takes on a bunch of kind of not, royal qualities, royal state type qualities, not actually monarchical, not like the King Trump would like to be, but I just mean sort of kind of the pomp and circumstance and the kind of national consoler. That piece of it has never been important to me. In fact, it kind of makes me uncomfortable, because I want the presidency to be reduced in its reach. I want it to be seen of as more of a job. It's a really fucking hard job, and it has too many responsibilities, and we should have a more honest conversation about the role itself. That said, for me, the last 3.5 years, especially in the last 6 months, I like it. Just forget as a kind of observer of politics. I mean, like, as a citizen, like, for me, being told by scientists and experts, wear the mask, don't leave the house, it's the right thing to do, and not having a president say thank you. Like, hey, for everybody who's not doing what the Instagram gays are doing, just kidding. Hey, Instagram gays, I'm just kidding. It's not, I shouldn't call you out specifically. Actually, there's no evidence there's any extra gay fun right now. And I just want you to know that I take it back completely. I don't mean it. I love you.
They gonna come for your ass.
You know I love you, Insta gays. But just check out what Instagram gives me through its algorithm. They know I love Instagram gays. But what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. A president who says,
compassion.
Fucking thank you. Thanks for the work you're doing. It's important. I'm supporting you. We're part of this thing together. Like, there was legitimate practical value to having those qualities. That's all. That was my dumb point. Got sidetracked by the Instagram gays per usual.
Is to find purpose. We have a great purpose as a nation. To open the doors of opportunity to all Americans, to save our democracy. With passion and purpose, let us begin, you and I together, one nation, under God, united in our love for America, united in our love for each other.
Yes, Zaddy. Yes. I don't really feel that way about him. But again, it is the fire, it's the passion, it is this, like, again, he's laid this foundation. He's like, okay, like, let's like cut the crap. Stuff is tough right now. But if we all work, physically showing up to vote, as well as everything that comes after that, we can get out of this. I don't need anyone blowing smoke and being like, we're the best country and everything's fine all the time. And it's like, you don't know my life. You just saying some crap. And I just felt like he was giving us the real and galvanizing in a way that I feel like I haven't seen him. He's always felt very low energy to me, very and I say low energy in the way that, like, I want the sense that my president is on top of shit. You know what I'm saying? Spinning all them plates, boo. And I have never seen that until I felt like tonight.
I don't want to see him spin plates.
And it's another example where, like, the president set expectations so low for Biden. Like, you go around calling him Sleepy Joe for months and basically say he's going to drool all over himself. And this performance was actually good, but it was so much better than that indicated that it made it even more effective, because you have all these people, and it's the same line that you had from the Bernie Sanders people during the primary, basically about how he'd lost a step and everything. And then when he comes out and gives a merely good performance, it looks great because of those expectations.
Absolutely.
For love is more powerful than hate. Hope is more powerful than fear. And light is more powerful than dark. This is our moment. This is our mission. May history be able to say that the end of this chapter of American darkness began here tonight, as love and hope and light join in the battle for the soul of the nation. And this is a battle we will win, and we'll do it together. I promise you.
Swoon City. He promised.
It's one just final, thought on all this too is I'm also surprised just how emotional I've been throughout this week. Just how close to like I can be sentimental. I'm a sentimental gay. I am. I'll cry at surprising movie ends, like unexpected moments, really midway through a movie sometimes. But I was surprised over the course of this week realizing that this is a real collective experience for a lot of people. It's our first big national political event that actually recognizes that we're in a state of crisis, that's honest about it, that deals with the pain, that helps people process it. Josh, what surprised you? Final thoughts on the convention. What surprised you?
I was surprised that it worked as well as it did in this format, and not all of it worked well. There were parts of it, if you actually tried to watch it gavel to gavel, where it was terrible Zoom audio and things that already would feel low energy in a regular convention that are sapped of that audience. But I thought that I thought there was a risk that it would have like this kind of cable access feel, and that it would be sad, not just from the content, but because of the production quality. Sure. And I thought that it did a good job of adapting to the circumstances and actually put forward a compelling case in a very difficult format.
Naomi, any final thoughts? Anything surprise you?
Well, you know what, honey? I was very nervous when Andrew Yang opened. I said, I need a hot opener. Give me fire. But then they really came back. They bounced back for me. I'm like kind of feeling Papa Joe now. I will say I don't need your granddaughters talking about ice cream. I get it. You're a family man. The whole ice cream back and forth had to go. We didn't need that. We could have ended on time. We could have ended on time. But I felt it. I felt it in my bones.